You don't start out greedy. Nobody does. You just want enough. Enough to stop worrying. Enough to breathe. But enough is a lie your brain tells you before it rewires itself completely. This is what happens when making money stops being a goal and becomes the only thing you are. Level 1. The first taste. You're 22, broke, frustrated, watching other people live the life you want from a phone screen that's 3 months behind on its bill. You get a job, nothing special, a warehouse, a call center, a desk somewhere with flickering lights and a boss who doesn't remember your name. You get your first real paycheck, $847. You stare at that number like it's a secret. You don't spend it on food first. You open your bank app and you just look at it. Something shifts. You don't know what it is yet. You just know you want to see a bigger number. So you pick up a Saturday shift, then a Sunday. Then you stop calling your friends back because you're always working. They don't understand. That's fine. You don't need them to. Level 2. The side hustle. The job isn't enough. It was never going to be enough. You start researching at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Dropshipping, flipping, freelancing, crypto, content, reselling. You pick one. It doesn't matter which one. You work your day job from 9 to 5. Then you come home and work your own thing from 6 to midnight. Your apartment is a mess. Your diet is energy drinks and whatever's fast. But your income is growing. $847 becomes $1,400. $1,400 becomes $2,200. You tell one person, maybe a parent, maybe a friend. They say, be careful. You hear, I don't believe in you. So you stop telling people. You build in silence. The silence feels powerful. Level 3. The obsession begins. You stop watching TV. You stop gaming. You unfollow everyone who posts about going out. Every minute you're not working feels like money leaving your hands. You time your meals. You schedule your sleep. You start tracking your income in a notebook, daily, then hourly. You calculate what each hour of your life is worth. And then you start measuring everything against that number. A 2-hour dinner with family? That's $90 you didn't make. A friend's birthday party? A whole Saturday gone. You start saying no. A lot. People start looking at you differently, like something is changing in you. They're right, but you think that's a compliment. Level 4. The first big win. Then it happens. 1 month, you cross $10,000. $10,000 in a single month. You sit in your car in a parking lot and you look at your phone. You don't celebrate. You don't call anyone. You just sit there and feel it. This cold, electric feeling in your chest. And then, immediately, before the feeling even finishes, your brain says, do it again. Not enjoy this. Not you made it. Just do it again. Do it faster. Do it bigger. You don't sleep that night. You rebuild your entire strategy. You reinvest almost everything because spending it feels like losing it. You upgrade one thing, maybe a better laptop, a faster chair. You tell yourself it's for the work. It is for the work. Everything is for the work now. Level 5. The identity shift. You don't have hobbies anymore. You have investments. You don't have friends anymore. You have networks. You don't have a personality anymore. You have a brand. You start posting online, not to connect, but to signal. The watch, the numbers, the lifestyle. People start following you. They ask how you did it. You tell them, but not all of it. Never all of it. You start mentoring people, charging for it, because your time is worth something now. You say that phrase a lot. My time is worth something. You say it to cancel plans. You say it to skip family dinners. You say it to yourself at 4 a.m. when you wonder if something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. You're just built different. That's what you tell yourself. Level 6. The machine. Your operation is running. You have systems, automations, maybe a small team. Money comes in while you sleep, and you know because you check your phone every time you wake up. Every time. 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Ping, ping, ping. Each notification is a small hit. Like a drug, but legal. Like a drug, but you'd never call it that. You're in a new apartment now, or a house. It's nice. You barely notice it. You're always on your laptop. You meet someone. Maybe you're already with someone. They say, "You're never really here." You say, "I'm building something." They say, "I know, but I'm here right now." You look up from the screen. You look back down. You tell yourself they'll understand when it's finished. It's never finished. Level 7. The cost. You're making more money than you ever imagined, and you feel almost nothing. Not nothing bad, just nothing. You buy something expensive, a car, a trip, a watch. You feel good for about 11 minutes. Then you're back on your phone, back in the spreadsheet, back calculating the next move. You talk to an old friend, one of the ones who didn't give up on you. They laugh at something stupid, something small, and you realize you can't remember the last time you laughed like that. Not performed a laugh, actually laughed. You go home that night, and you sit in your expensive apartment, and you open your bank app. The number is big, very big, and you feel alone. Not sad, not grateful, not proud, just alone. You close the app. You open it again. Level 8. The paranoia. The bigger the money gets, the more dangerous everything feels. You start watching your back, not physically, but mentally. Someone's always trying to copy you. Someone's always trying to take what you built. You trust no one on your team completely. You check the numbers twice, 3 times. You look for patterns that aren't there. You hire people, then quietly suspect them. You stop delegating. You start doing everything yourself again. The business starts to slow because you're choking it. You work harder to compensate. You work 16 hours a day and call it discipline. You start canceling meetings to redo work other people already did. Your team feels it. 2 people quit. You don't beg them back. You say, "No one is irreplaceable." You say that because you need to believe it, because if people are irreplaceable, then so is what you lost. Level 9. The crack. It's a Tuesday. Nothing dramatic. You wake up, and for the first time in years, you don't want to open your laptop. You lie there, staring at the ceiling. You think about a version of yourself from 10 years ago, what that person wanted, what that person was afraid of. That person was afraid of being broke. They thought money was the answer. You got the money, so why are you still afraid? Different fear now. Fear of losing it. Fear of slowing down. Fear that if you stop, even for a day, it all collapses. Fear that you won't know who you are without the hustle. You get up. You open the laptop. Because what else are you gonna do? Level 10. The choice. Here's where the story splits. And this is important, because this is where you actually live, not in the fantasy of the win, but in this moment. Some people reach this level and they burn out completely. The money disappears. Decisions made from paranoia, from exhaustion, bad investments, broken partnerships, losing everything in a single bad quarter. Back to zero. Except it's worse than zero, because now you know what zero feels like after having everything. Some people reach this level and they pivot. They take the money, they protect it, they build something slower, something that doesn't eat them alive. They find a person, a reason, a morning that doesn't start with a screen. They learn, sometimes too late, that wealth without presence is just a very expensive prison. And some people reach this level and they go deeper. They chase the next zero, and the next, and the next, never stopping, never arriving, always becoming, until one day they look in the mirror and realize They built an empire, and they don't know the person standing in it. The addiction to money isn't about greed. It's about control. It's about the feeling that if you just make enough, you'll finally be safe, finally be enough. But the number never comes, because it was never really about the number. The most dangerous thing money can do isn't take your freedom. It's make you believe that losing your freedom was worth it. You started this wanting enough. The question is, do you still know what enough looks like? Or did you forget? Because the version of you that knew the answer, that person hasn't checked their bank app in years.